Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing great. Just heading out to Green Bay this morning. Just wanted to do a little quick live session. Talk a little bit about how social media can really affect an industry. So just put a post out there and my thoughts about how social media is really taking on the film industry and how that can be extremely impacted. And so I think about how is social media affecting my business, financial services. One is just the engagement, right? So engaging with people on these platforms, creating content that can be valuable and insightful for those that are looking at our industry, and making sure that we're seen as a go-to place for information in a world of easy access to information, right? Literally the phrase is just go Google it, whatever you don't know. And so because of that struggle with this proliferation of information, the easy accessibility to information, then there's a high level of respect and desire for specialized information for your specific area that you want to focus in on. So that's one area that I think social media can really drastically change the way that we receive information. And I think there's a lot of news that gets broadcast through Twitter that people consume that way. Good or bad, kind of depends on how you look at it, but that's where a lot of people are getting their information these days, is in basically little sound bites. And oftentimes that's the struggle, is that they're basically getting their news in 140 characters and thinking that they know the entire context of what's happening in the situation. And so that can be very deceiving. And two, you have to be able to then, as a consumer of information, figure out how do you synthesize it for yourself. How do you find information and make sure that it's valuable for you in the moment that it's occurring? And that can be a little bit of a struggle for some people, I think, where social media becomes so heavy-handed in kind of directing the narrative. Is it the right context, right, of the conversation, right? Or am I basically getting a one-sided view of what's happening? So that was my thoughts this morning as I posted out this video for Marcus Theaters. It's a local regional theater, movie theater, and I basically said, like, how do you, like, could there be a partnership of you and Netflix showing some Netflix exclusive content to your consumers? Of course, make it free, but then ultimately you're getting people into the theaters. That's ultimately what you're trying to do, is you want people in your theaters, right? People in the seats. It doesn't really matter that it's a movie. Obviously you love movies, but if you don't get like romantic about the theater, right? So for example, if I don't get stuck on the location, then that's how, indoor theaters crushed drive-in movies, right? And I mean, basically drive-ins don't even exist anymore out there. So that's really what it comes down to, is if you're not like totally stuck on the movie, the content that's being produced from Hollywood, then you're more concerned about who's going to watch it. And so again, you're looking for the setting where people are getting together. I think about like maybe even leveraging Twitter, where they're showing like the NFL live with the feed on the right side. Could you show that in one of the theaters and have people then, it's basically they can use their phones, right? And they can see their name, their tweet go up in lights as they're watching this live session. I think there could be some value to that. And ultimately, look at a theater, their highest profit margin is really on the food and bev. So get people basically to come to the theater. That's what you want. You want butts and seats, and ultimately you have the facility to get people there. So don't get stuck on the medium, the origin of the medium, right? Because if it's Twitter or Netflix or Amazon, whatever the case might be, I think that's really where you can really make the leverage play. Heck, even Amazon is pumping a ton of money into Amazon Studio in creating exclusive content. I think there's a lot of opportunity going forward there, and a lot of people end up buying cable television for like ESPN. They're only looking for like one channel or like 4 channels in a lineup of like 150. And so can you show some of that exclusive content at no cost? Of course, I'd want to partner up with HBO or whatever the producer of the content is, so that way they're okay with me broadcasting it to a ton of people, and then now get people to buy sodas and hot dogs, etc. I think there's a lot of value there for that industry. So that would be my question to you: is what are your thoughts? How do you think the industry will change, any industry, based on where social media is pushing upon it? And for my line of work, it's about customization, right? That's really the end goal for social media. What's up, bro? Just called. They were get clearance from owner for the cigars. Awesome. Looking good, bro. Thanks, man. So what they say when you reach out to them? Just got clearance from owner. So like, I think you mean clearance, like you got like acceptance. I'll give you a call, man. Good chatting with you. Awesome. Nice. That's awesome. Glad to hear that success, man. So that's my thoughts. Is how do you think social media is going to affect any industry? You have a unique situation where you can get super local influence, right? If you hey Alex, how you doing? Good morning. I think you can find an influencer locally to be able to provide some unique perspective, some unique traffic into a specific location if you have social media gain and it's very local, right? Like, so if you were to broadcast something local, you'd get a lot of impact there. Now, I don't think it's tough to be able to advertise towards that demographic, just because, or not demographic, well, you can demographic, but you basically put in a zip code and you have the advertisement just basically stay at that one zip code, which can be extremely useful. But then what happens uniquely as somebody that's, you don't necessarily control who's consuming your content from a location perspective, and that's okay. I think it's important to have just an overall, reach. But let's say, for example, I'm a pizza shop located here in one city. Do I end up reaching out to like a Kevin Hart and have him as an influencer? Probably not, right? Because his reach is so far. It's too many people outside of my scope, right? So I'm paying him for his 65 million followers, but how many are actually in the zip code that I serve as a local pizza joint, right? So that becomes a very unique thing to look at. Is basically, look at the hashtag of one location and see who is producing the most amount of content and then getting the most amount of engagement from there. I think that's what you end up following. And it might be, surprisingly, the local newscaster. It might be actually like the superintendent of a school, where all of a sudden they have a huge amount of influence on a local community versus, let's say, anybody else, which is kind of unique. Yeah, I will. I think you said you want me to give you a call at 12, so I'll give you a call at 12 if that seems like an open time slot for you. So that's my thoughts this morning, guys. I want to see where does social media, how does it affect different industries? I'm finding for myself more engagement, more appreciation for the seminar method, where we're getting in front of people, presenting to them information, and then meeting with them one-on-one to really filter out all the noise that's available when it comes to just information and get them information that's useful, right? Instead of it just being kind of this one-size-fits-all, just general information, not a lot of value to a lot of people. They want to know exactly how does it affect me specifically. Sherman, do you believe if someone had failed on their plan the first time to create a different plan? Depends. Good question, Alex. I would say number one is I'd want to know why did I fail on my plan, right? So that'd be the first thing to have a look at is what occurred, what caused you to fail in that plan. What were you dealing with, right? So before I change up my plan, right, I want to know exactly what went down, because let's say, for example, what actually happened was I didn't put enough effort in, or the quality of product they had was garbage, or I needed to duplicate myself, so I really needed like a partner to be able to help me deliver, a better service or to reach more people. And so before making a completely different plan, I'd want to know exactly, take an assessment of what really went wrong and be very honest with myself, because a lot of the buck stops with me, right? So if I start my own plan, whatever it might be, like let's say, for example, I want to get down, I want to lose 10 pounds, right? So I want to get to 180 pounds or whatever that for me it'd be like 190 anyway. So let's say I want to get to 190, right? And so I decided to go to the gym. I'm exercising, but I'm not losing any weight. Let's say after 90 days, 3 months in exercising, number one is I'll have a look at what am I exercising, what am I doing, right? The other thing that I'll look at is from a muscle tone perspective, because maybe I'm losing inches, right? Maybe I'm getting thinner, or I'm gaining more muscle tone, but I'm not actually losing weight. Ultimately, then what do I want? Because then I need to change up my routine. So after 90 days, if let's say I'm not losing any weight, but yet I have more muscle tone, then I might say, well, I need to be doing something differently from a workout perspective, right? So that's when you start changing the plan, is after you really identify what's not working. And for a lot of people, if from an exercise perspective, if they actually were to take an audit and look at what they actually consume, that would probably be the biggest indicator of what's not going well. So hopefully that's I really like that question. I'm gonna make a video for that, Alex. I like that. So I like where your head's at. So cool idea. Good. All right, everybody. Well, I'm gonna keep this short, simple. Hope you have a fabulous day. Let me know how I can continue to provide value to you. Have a great day. Sherm's out.